Let's talk about the American Board of Family Medicine's tool for continuous knowledge self-assessment, or the CKSA. Now, if you're watching this and on your phone, you do not yet have, if I can get into my phone here, you do not yet have this is my home screen right there, my medical apps, the ABFM CSA. If you don't have that app on your phone, you should download it right now. So I'll give you can hit pause on this video, go to your app store, type in ABFM CKSA with a space between there, and follow the information that I'm getting ready to give you. So I think back in 2017 is when this started, so 5 years ago. The American Board of Family Medicine gives you 25 questions every 3 months or once a quarter. It sounds just like FMCLA, doesn't it? Yes. So you get 100 questions a year. It's very similar to the FMCLA board exam format. You can review those questions. You can also go to the ABFM's website and see your performance over time. Really. Those of you who've just been taking the questions, I'm going to show you how to get into the website and actually see your performance from when you first started taking this. This is really cool. And you can slice and dice the data by different specialty. So if you don't do that well in cardiology, you can see here's your cardiology score, and here are all the questions that have been given to you in cardiology, that domain, and you can go back and study those particular areas. How cool is that? So you can, in fact, compile your performance based on the subject areas, and that allows you to really target your studying in that fashion. API, by the way, also allows you to not only study, but also build your test questions. So we're going to get to that here in just a moment as well. So if you are someone who regularly does the ABFM CKSA questions, it's nice to have those questions done. But once you've done that over several years, you now have a repository of information that you can go back and see how you're doing. So this is my phone, that's my home screen, and my medical file folder. I click on that. You can see the bottom left-hand corner, it says ABFM CKSA. So if you go to your app store on the right-hand side, and if you just type in ABFM, for me, the second hit came up as CKSA. If you haven't already done so, please get that. It's free. It's a very useful tool for you in studying. When you click on the app, this is what it looks like. On the left-hand side is the home screen. You can see all of the previous tests that I have done. This is my own screen. When I put this talk together several months ago, so as of the end of March or so, I had not yet finished the first set of questions for Q1 in 2022. And so I had done, 17, I got 17 correct out of 18. I was having a good day. On the right-hand side, you can see my Q4 test from 2021. So there are 19 questions that you can see there. It actually goes down. There's 25 questions. The green check marks on the right are the questions you got right. The red X's are the ones that you got wrong. If you were to click on a question, and so you can also see my progress there. On the left-hand side is a question that I got wrong. Question number 7. We'll read it just for kicks. A previously healthy 26-year-old male who works as a carpenter reports episodes of chest tightness and dyspnea. He states that he feels better on his weekend breaks from work. He most likely has, and I put in hypersensitivity pneumonitis. I speak nationally and internationally on asthma. I know the GINA guidelines for when I speak in Dubai at their course there. I know the NAEPP guidelines here that recently got updated. There's no occupational asthma in there, and yet that's the right answer. So you can read the critique, and there's the information from the American Board. And then on the right-hand side, you can read the comments. And sure enough, yours truly went in there, and I put a comment to the American Board saying, hey guys, occupational asthma is not one of the recognized things. However, you have to realize the board exam is the one writing the question. And even if you think you know the right answer, you have to answer the question for what you think the American board might answer. So my learning takeaway was that if I'm asked a question from the American board about asthma, that occupational asthma might be one of the things I need to think about, even though it's not quite in the GINA guidelines or things like that. But I want you to see there's the questions. So if I were to go here on the right-hand side, question number 7, question 16, question 17, if I wanted to not just take those questions, but look at the critiques and the information, that's right there in the middle of the screen. And then on the right-hand side, you can see what your colleagues nationally are responding to some of those questions. Some people honestly are just griping, I never do pediatrics. Why am I being asked pediatric questions? Oh, you're a family physician. You're going to be asked pediatric questions. But then there are people who are national experts, and I always like to go through and read some of the comments from some of my colleagues how they've responded, because I learned there as well. So that's an individual exam. I want you to be able to also to see the way to look at your overall performance longitudinally. So let's walk through this, and you may need to watch this process a few times, but you log into your portfolio as we did previously. You're going to scroll to the bottom of the portfolio screen, and you see several options. All in progress, those are the things that you're currently working on. You can search for activities that allow you to generate points from the American board. So let's click on search activities, and then you have all these options that are here. The second option down on the left-hand side says learn or find out more about the continuous self-assessment with quarterly questions. The continuous KSA, knowledge self-assessment. You click on that, it then brings you to this screen. You can review the activity. We're going to click on that. And this then is your performance based on the CKSA test that you've done. So on the left-hand side, there's a home, there's questions, reports. We're going to go through some of those because the report option is really, really cool. But on the right-hand side, you can see the very first row, 2022 first quarter CKSA. I have completed 25 out of 25 questions. If you were to click on the far right-hand side where it says review, you can then review the questions that came up, and there you can see 12 of those questions. Number 4 I got wrong. So I click on number 4, it takes me through. Here's a patient that had a question, had something to do with the influenza. For whatever reason, I got it wrong. You can then on the top, you click on critique, and it walks you through the reasoning for that correct answer. So you can do that on your handheld device. You can also do that from the portfolio option in the American Board of Family Medicine on the website. So whichever is easier for you. If you're a handheld person, you can do it from your phone. If you really prefer a larger screen or more options, you can do that from a web-based option as well on your computer. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Remember, here is that initial screen. If you go down to the report button, which is what I got here, and in the upper left-hand side of the middle part of the screen, it says MCAI chart. So when you take a question or you complete a question in the American Board of Family Medicine's CKSA tool, the app, when you put your answer in, it then asks you how confident you are. Oh, I'm extremely confident. I know I got this one wrong. I have no idea. I'm not at all confident at all. So in your guessing, it then gives you the percentage of time that you're right when you say you're extremely confident and the times that you think you're confident and you get it wrong. Eddie, you know what? You think you're extremely confident on a lot of things and you get a whole bunch wrong. Maybe you should just not practice medicine. I'm being extremely humorous in this moment. But so for this particular quiz, I clicked extremely confident. I think I blow it up here. Let me see if I blow it up. Boop, boop. Nope, I don't here. 93% of the time. So I got one of those wrong. So when I feel like I am extremely confident of my correct answer, 93% of the time I'm going to have that right. So in private practice, when I'm seeing my patients, if I feel like I really know what's going on, most of the time I actually do. The very confident, there are only 3 questions that were there in that category that I listed very confident, and I got 2 of the 3 of those right. Now, this is one exam. Right there, this is the first quarter exam in 2022. Maybe you were really confident on those answers. You thought it was an easier exam. What you can do is you can change that from one quarter, one exam, to the last 3 years. So let's put up the last 3 years of data. I'm going to select last 3 years, and now you have a lot more data points. So at the very bottom down there, extremely confident, I selected, and of those ones that I selected that I was extremely confident of the answer, I was correct 94% of the time. The ones that, let me go back here, the one that I was not at all confident of, I was wrong. I was confidently wrong. I would say, so the learning point for me is when I am not confident, I should understand that that's a good thing. You should go look up more information to get the right answer. So this allows you to not only see an individual exam, but over time. So when I am very confident, I'm right 80% of the time. When I'm extremely confident, I'm right 94% of the time. When I'm pretty confident, it's only 71%. And so you can trust yourself. If you think you know the right answer and you're sure about that, this is a way of measuring your surety. So that's pretty cool. And again, let's walk through that again. How did I get there? So you take your individual exam, and in the upper right-hand corner, you can go to the last 3 years. It then gives you all the data points for 3 years. So that's 300 questions, or 300 data points that are here to allow you to then see how you do compared to how you think you did. So that's kind of neat. That's a tool that's there. Now, let's say you further want to go and particularly study the hematologic questions that were there. What in the world? Who wants to study hematology? I'm just using that as an extreme example. So what you do is you go to the report screen, you pull down the last 3 years, you click on hematology, and then you start reviewing the last 3 years worth of questions in that particular area. So let's walk through this. So this is that home screen. You clicked on report, and on the right-hand side, you can see by default, it just brings up one test, the most recent test. And you can see if you totaled all those questions, it would only be 25 questions. You can see the percent I got right. I did fairly well on this exam. I got 3 out of 4 wrong, 3 out of 4 right in cardiovascular medicine. But you can then click on the last 3 years worth of data. And that then gives you a much more robust number. You can see the numbers of questions that you attempted, the number that you got right, and your percent correct. If you then go to the hematologic category, you can see that there were 15 questions. I got 11 of the 15 right, so my percentage correct is 73%. And if you click on hematologic/immune, it then starts you through those 15 questions. You can see the ones that you got right, the ones that you got wrong. Similarly, you click on the critique and it tells you the information. So you have targeted ability to study content areas that you want to review. Most of us, my strength is in cardiovascular medicine, if you hadn't figured that out. I love to take cardiovascular medicine questions. However, Eddie, if you're studying for an exam, you don't need to study the things that you already know well and you're just reinforcing that you know that. You need to focus on the areas that you don't know as well. So if I were to go to perhaps this report right here, so endocrine, I only got 71% right. Nephrology, I only got 73% right. Hematology, I only got 73%. So those might be the areas, if you've got time and bandwidth, if you wanted to study something, study the areas that you didn't do as well in. Integumentary, I also like derm. I got 84% right there. Okay, maybe you don't study as much derm because you get that right. Let's study the things that you need to really boost your score in. This is a way of using the American Board of Family Medicine's CKSA tool.